one of the things that it was made very clear was that the owner wanted the wanted CJ Stroud. It wasn't that the team, like, they were ready to draft Will Anderson, and the owner made it a point that they were going to draft. So then they draft, CJ Stroud number 2. But then, to make their new head coach happy, they go and they trade up and they pick Will Anderson. Now, the trade looks really good. You get 2 of the top picks, but the problem here is that you have someone in Will Anderson who isn't someone like one of the Bosas or even Garrett, who you should be. None of those. Nobody traded up to get one of those guys, so that should tell you something. The biggest problem that I had with this was that they traded a future pick next year that could be a top 2 pick, because the Texans aren't going anywhere. They're in the middle of a rebuild. Like, why are you, trading a pick when you don't know if you're going to be any good? Like, maybe, eventually, like, I will be wrong and they'll probably win the AFC South. Who knows what happens? We've seen, like I've talked about, 5 new teams always make the playoffs the following season. So, but in terms of, it was just reckless on their part. I just didn't understand why you would do this right now. And why are you trading an asset for somebody who, like, now you're putting all the pressure on Will Anderson. Like, is he gonna break Curse's record of 14 and a half sacks? Like, no, he's not. Like, it's just and then the same thing with CJ Stroud. Like, if he wasn't your guy, just wait for next year. I'm not saying next year's draft's going to be any better, but if he's not your guy, why are I understand you're the owner, you're going to make it known who you want, but then you're messing with your franchise. Let people run your football operations and let them do the picking, because now you put your franchise in a bad situation. So that's my barrier, is the Houston Texans.
I get what you're saying, Victor, but for me, the second they got their franchise quarterback, no more living on what if and what that first pick could be next year, because you got your quarterback. Like I disagree with the ownership stepping in, but maybe he did them a favor, because you can't go into another season with Davis Mills, and that means you're gonna for sure tank for Caleb Williams. And yeah, it's worth it to tank for 1 year to get Caleb Williams, but that's not what happened. The second they got CJ Stroud, you're all in and winning with that guy. And I think Will Anderson helps out. Obviously, he's on defense, but it helps out because, yeah, he might not be like a Nick Bosa, but what if he becomes like a for sure guy? I think I told Fernando the other day, like a DeMarcus Lawrence, like a very productive Pro Bowl edge rusher, and you get that for
He's a
sure
Hall of
because
Famer,
DeMarcus Lawrence.
I think, or
Really?
maybe he,
Or
or
No,
no,
I
you're
think
thinking
he's
Demarcus
talking
Ware. You're
about
thinking
Marcus Ware. Yeah.
Ware. Like
or Demarcus Ware. My bad.
maybe
Yeah,
that
yeah,
could be the ceiling because that he was a steady guy, but not like a dominant force. So maybe that's maybe not a bad one too. By the way, Fernando. But Demarcus Ware or Demarcus Lawrence, we'll see. If it's Ware, it's definitely
yeah.
good.
No, my bad. I was gonna say, but I think that's what they saw though. The or Anderson and the next guy. They saw the gap between them and
Yeah,
said, you know what? There's too much of a gap.
he's
Let's go get
polished.
this guy. 1, 2. Remember, the Houston Texans have just fired 2 coaches in a row where they've only given them 1 year. What if they fail this year and they say, you know what? And D'Amico's a franchise guy, and they'd be stupid to clear him after 1 year. But who knows if they go, you know what? We go get Caleb Williams, and they go with my plan. Let's just say they bring in Lincoln Riley, and they say we can pair these guys up next year. We bring them in, but they fired D'Amico Ryans, and that's 3 black head coaches they fired, and that's three strikes and you're out. So I understand where you're coming from, Vic, but at the same time, I kind of feel like they thought, you know what, there's too much of a gap between Will Anderson and the next pass rusher. We got to go get this guy, and we got to go get CJ Stroud. The other thing is,
And
I have a lot of questions about CJ Stroud moving forward, but that's where he's getting at. But the thing is, you're not guaranteed to get the first overall pick. I mean, look, what was it? The Jets were competing for. There was a lot of teams. No, not the Jets. There was a lot of teams competing this year for the first overall pick.
Look at
Yeah,
the Texans
someone
And
this year.
decided
They're
it.
supposed to get the first pick and they screwed it up
yeah,
with
in
Lovie
Houston,
Smith.
and they ended up winning a game, and then
Yeah.
Chicago got it. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're completely right. But all right, I'm gonna
You
go.
get
I'll
pumped
go
the brakes
next.
with Lincoln Riley coming to the NFL guy. He hasn't
Um,
really done much in college, I'll tell
No,
you
I
that.
know, but I'm saying like a quarterback like Caleb Williams could get him a job the same way. Look at Cliff Kingsbury; he got him a
Then we're
job, and
just handing out.
Patrick
We're
Mahomes
handing out things
got
now,
him a
dude.
job, and Patrick Mahomes wasn't even that amazing in college in a sense. Like,
And
So
that
I'm
is
just
exactly
saying, but-
why Arizona is Arizona right now, guy.